We're going to do a react video, guys. This is the second one that we've done, and we are walking into the shop. I have not seen this video that Austin has here. I guess probably since we've made it or around there. So I'm not sure. Do we have people in the building with us?
Yeah, there's like you're like the normal guys that were around. I think Colin's recording it, and there's like people walking with you guys every now and then.
Got it. So I think we bought it because a lot of the stuff is cleared out of here, I think.
I can double check the date, but I'm almost positive it was April 6, 2015.
So you think we had not bought this building yet?
I don't know when you bought it, but like, does that date mean anything to you guys?
No, I don't fucking, dude, I don't know what yesterday was.
There's, if this is the same video, I think it is, you guys go outside and there's duck blinds and like out here.
Yeah, that's when we first got it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Somebody was keeping them here. Put your headphones on.
It makes my ears hurt.
And get different headphones. There's like 5 of them.
I don't need headphones. I don't need to hear you. I can hear you here.
You be quiet. Shh. All right, here we go.
Hey, rolling.
So we're looking at a 10,000 square foot building here. It's on 9 acres of property. It's about 3 minutes from the other building, and we're checking this out. So I'm wearing an I Miss America shirt.
Yep.
That's when 299 Days, Glenn Tate. I had not actually even read the books. I never read the books. I didn't listen to them till just several years ago. I listened to them on audiobooks when I started listening to like survival fiction.
I had read
So
the
we've
books.
got just a big bay here. The front of it is partitioned into offices. It's got a second level up here, which could be a bigger office.
The DJ booth.
Yeah, we already owned it because we had taken some of that shit down.
Bathrooms. There's 2 men's bathrooms with multiple urinals. There's a couple showers within this shop here. It used to be a bar and saloon type deal, and there was a restaurant here, so it has a full kitchen with all the grease traps and everything, and
Walk-in cooler.
Walk-in cooler. It's got a walk-in cooler in here. It's plumbed gas lines for major big industrial appliances, so we could hire and actually run an actual kitchen here and feed all the employees instead of just a piece of them, just part of them.
I don't remember that 2-door being back there.
The 2 doors. Where's that?
Back behind you. You'll have to wait till you move again.
It's neat. Like, we would have to knock some walls down and move it around.
This red iron though is handy. Like this.
It's right here. It's a double door, a man door.
And you like this build?
See it right here?
I do, yeah. Yeah,
I don't remember
that door
being
is
there.
not there anymore.
Is it on the front porch?
No, we're looking right now at the back roll-up door,
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
where it says FTP, which people are like, what is that? Like, it was there when we bought it.
I know, it's sad to see it go because it just recently went away.
It looks better with the black,
it.
though.
It
It's
does.
better for filming against.
Building was not made cheap. Like that is
Right.
expensive steel.
So we could have
Yeah, when he says it's expensive steel, the building kit in the building is an expensive. Like, when you start looking at steel buildings and you see these 40 by 60 for $10,000, there's different thicknesses of metal. There's different girders. Like, this is that red iron stuff. They coated in something that makes it like a red color. It was a rusty brown color. There's big differences in that.
Yeah,
And then
the
you have
I-beams are very robust.
And then you also have slabs, like if it's tensioned or under tension or not tensioned. Is the building bolted to the ground, or is the building, bolted to the slab, or is it bolted like they built the building and then poured the concrete, or did they pour there's different ways. Like, if you see a building and one of them costs less, there's a reason that it costs less.
just go literally from cutting to sewing and just partition and move the building the way we need rather than being in 2 buildings and walking back and forth all the time. And
It's cool. You have a lot of storage too. Like we can do big runs and actually have
right,
places
we'll have
to
a lot of
store
storage,
stuff.
But what we'll do is we'll come into this room here and partition half of it and run a secondary loft so we can have a lot of storage overhead, and then we won't have to heat and cool as much of it and run drop ceilings. So
We won't have to
None of
heat.
that happened. None of it.
Like, that was the idea, but what happened was when we started building these videos, you guys started watching them and you're like, hey, you should put bubble tubes, or you should put an escape hatch, or a
want a
fireman
bubble-
pole,
I
or
want a bubble tube.
that whole wall should be glass. Like, never did I plan to put like a gym in the back. Like,
John took all of your recommendations, every one of them.
guys are like, you should have doors that go psh, psh. Like when you walk onto the deck, I'm like, okay, we'll do that. Like when we put the glass doors up, They were supposed to replace those doors with glass, and they're going to have an air dump when you walked through a laser. You just triggered this laser eye, and it would dump air, so it would go psh, 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 even though the doors just opened.
Yeah.
That was planned.
And our lighting will be a lot better. The sound deadening from the sewing machines to the offices. We got a big overhead here, and it's neat.
Yeah, where we're standing right here, the building has already been deconstructed. Let me go to where it's in focus. The building had been deconstructed quite a bit already. Where we're standing, there was like a VIP lounge. There was some stairs that went up to that, and they had been carpeted over carpet over carpet. So they were like spongy when you walked on them. And the VIP area up there was between the beams, and it was like maybe 10 feet.
Yeah.
And then it spanned all the way across from side to side.
But it was only like 5 feet tall, maybe.
It was low up there. Like you might have been able to sit there with some chairs, and then there was a room to the side up there that was a DJ booth. And once you were in there, you could kind of get like over the kitchen, and it was just this concealed area back there that they were using for storage.
It's amazing how compartmentalized it is, because now that it's opened up, it looks completely different. And I know you guys added more square footage up there too, but the entire building, when I was watching that, I was getting confused on where you guys were, because there's so many little places.
Yes.
So there was a lot more.
was.
Like we've torn walls down that side already. Apparently they put like a machine shop in here, and for insurance they made them put this metal up on the walls. So they went and just bought metal from like a salvage yard, and you can see that it's that like baby
it's
green,
like avocado green.
Yeah.
and then you have all these missing sections, because whenever they built that, whatever that was at one time, and they painted it, there was stuff in front of it or overlapped. So that shit, like we took almost all of that metal down. There is still some of it's up in there, and when we finally just paneled over it, like right after COVID, right when COVID was starting, we started buying up sheets of plywood and wrapping those in Cordura. And I did the one side, and then Tim and Matt did the other two sides, and then finished higher. Like Xena and I think Xena and I did quite a bit of it. Me and Cody did some of it. And when we started buying those shitty pieces of plywood, it's like that chip particle board. I don't remember what it's called.
Press board or something?
Yes, but they were like, they have that turquoise shit. And if when you're moving sheets of plywood, if you put it on your shoe, it kind of keeps it from slamming down, but it gets that blue shit all over your shoe. So when we were buying that, it was $15 a sheet. When we got to the next wall, it was $45 a sheet. And when we got to the other wall, it was $65 a sheet for that stuff.
It looks good. We'll walk around the back side of the building real quick, and
See all those gas lines and all those the conduit and shit. We've built all that
real
down.
quick, and we'll.
So
And
these
the door
were
is over here instead of in the middle.
so these were double doors over here that would go back into the nightclub, because it was a bar up front.
And it comes in here. You can see.
And that cowboy bar
all
shit
the wood
right there.
paneling that's in here.
So
There's the double
those are the
doors.
double doors.
Yep.
We replaced those with new ones. That was where the patrons came in.
Yeah.
That's where the doorman sat and everything.
In here.
Which actually looks good.
And this is the cowboy bar. This is like the grill.
Everybody loved that fucking wood, and it was ugly.
That wood right there goes all the way up to the top. So if you we have catwalks in the building up top. So when you're in my office, there's actually a section behind that wall, and that wood goes all the way to the top. Now some of it we just couldn't get out of there. They actually just cut it, and it's still up inside there. But the drop ceiling, you had somebody had come in here at one point and was running like home health care out of here, and it was so expensive to heat and cool it that they put the drop ceiling in, and they were heating and cooling this front part. When we bought the building, there was tons of like Xerox boxes and shit full of like receipts and stuff from home health care. And then at one point there was like, we had driven past this for like 14 years almost, and the gate was always closed. But at one point it was open, and they had like a flea market. They're trying to do like an indoor flea market thing, and it just never took off.
Yeah.
Which is neat.
Yeah, it
I
looks
wanna
good.
Get all that shit out of here.
Well, we could hang stuff on it too. You can use it.
Colin really wanted to keep it.
For office.
Well, we did keep quite a bit of it. The company came through. There was a dude that we actually gave. It was all poplar. It was cut off the property, I guess.
So it's real wood. wood? I thought it was wood panels.
Oh
it's
no, it's
real.
fucking all real wood.
And it was rough cut too.
And we had a dude that was here. He was going to take it and reclaim it, and all I wanted was 10 by 10 of it back. He was going to plane it and sand it down, and we were going to put upstairs. We were going to have a little section of it just from the original wood.
Yeah.
And that motherfucker never gave us the wood. He pushed or pulled. I don't know how he got the nails out, but he had a pile of nails, and then they fucking ended up all over. Like still today, when you get rains and shit and you drive around, I'm constantly picking up screws and nails and shit. But this motherfucker, like there was nails all over the field. Like the first couple years you were here, every couple weeks somebody would get nails in their tires. We've put so much gravel down now though, it's not really a point. But I do still, and I pick up glass, like because kids used to come into the property from the back way. And they would just sit in here and bonfire and drink and shit. And there is fucking broken glass everywhere. Every single day, if I'm out there and not in a hurry, I pick up glass and just fucking screws and shit always.
And zip ties.
The zip ties were from here though. Okay, so that goes into the kitchen. That's still kind of there. This was a pass-through window right here that went into the kitchen. And then
Yeah,
there's
that's
like
the kitchen over there.
there's like a stage over here. Yep, that's still kind of how it is now.
Yeah, it's still
The
looks like that.
outside here,
Should be easy to clean.
big walk-in.
That goes into the walk-in cooler, which was nothing more. Like it leaked. It was a fucking mess. If we were going to put a cooler back in here, that's probably where it would go. That's where the aquaponics system is sitting outside right now. Really, we put the aquaponics system there because it was the easy place because there was a slab. But really, the aquaponics system needs to be on the other side so that we can use that as a walk-in cooler. We never have put the walk-in cooler there. We've toyed with it and, had people come look at it and everything about putting it on the other side. But we have all these mainline gas. We have like a 2-inch gas line over here and a bunch of verticals coming up and stuff. So it would be a hassle to put it there where it's easy. It really we need to break the aquaponics system down and just put it there.
Well, I'm surprised. Like when I saw this, I was like, "Oh wow, that would have." I guess it was just too much. You'd have to get a new one.
There was nothing
But,
there.
Yeah, but like that's an asset. Like if it worked, I'm surprised that you guys would even consider get rid of it.
Yeah,
But
well,
I
it didn't
know-
work.
Yeah, I didn't know it didn't.
It
work.
was trash, yeah. It wasn't built properly. Like it worked. You can make stuff work and it's fine, but nobody thinks, 10, 20 years later, it worked for 5 years, right? When we moved in, there was an ice machine out here too. Because it was a nightclub. They were making ice and, making hamburgers and shit. And when you have commercial accounts with your food supply places, the truck will come up and we can give him access to the cooler, having a door on the outside.
he doesn't need
So
to
he
come
can come in and drop his stuff off whether we're here or not.
Right.
We can just give him access to it and he doesn't have to access the building. Same with like UPS and stuff. You can have a shed where they just come in and drop that shit off and then it's secured. They have a key to it.
Yeah.
Which I'm sure it's down. But this will
Easily be restarted.
get that going.
Man, it was full of wasps. That whole, everything
It's
was
still
full
full
of
of
wasps.
That'd be a good timeout box.
Timeout box.
Mop sink. Back into here, there's a back hallway. You got night shot or anything?
So this goes
Yeah,
back.
we got lights back here now.
And there's actually 5 rooms back there. And you can see what this looks like. We pulled every bit of all this wood out of here. We took the bathrooms and I think it was 3 larger bathrooms there. And we actually took all those walls down, divided into 4 bathrooms, and then put a wall in between. So you don't go down the hallway to 4 bathrooms. That's actually 2. One hallway goes to 2 bathrooms and one hallway still has its own door that goes into 2 storerooms. That's where we store all our boxes and all of our stuff. For the business is back in there. The stuff we don't need to access every day is back there, but they still do have all the plumbing is there for toilets. We just unfitted the toilets and stuff. And like when we walked in, I think we're going to see it here in a second, but there was a ton of urinals. Like I think we finally threw those away, but there was probably a dozen urinals here. And then the toilet in the men's bathroom, there's 2 toilets in there. There used to be like 3 or 4. Tyler broke the lid to one, and I'm like, we'll just go get one off these 20 toilets sitting in the back. But none of them fit that thing. That toilet in that men's bathroom still has no lid.
Oh, you're
Because-
talking about the tank lid.
Yeah, the tank lid, because we would have to replace the, and it's just nobody ever cared. I mean,
Yeah.
so we just never did. When we were moving all the plumbing around, we had to cut the slab to access the pipes and then put new pipe into the ground. And when they cut it, water shot up just because the hill here, it was super wet, and then we had snow and stuff, and it was starting to melt, and just the pressure of the water coming. It, I guess, goes under the slab or whatever, but water literally shot up because there wasn't any water on in the building. They didn't cut any.
Yeah.
It's just that's how much water was in the ground.
Yeah.
And and it makes so much sense to put your pipes in the concrete.
Well, you'd have to put the pipes in the concrete here. That's how you do it. You don't have anywhere else to put them. Your plumbing has to go down.
Don't we?
But it comes into these saloons. I mean, we'd have to clean it up, but I mean, it's got good bones. It's a good starting point. We
Good
wouldn't have to
bones.
move, but a couple miles, literally not even a mile up the road, and we'd keep the other property as well. But it's got stalls, it's got urinals, and then it has 2 ladies' bathrooms, which each have 3 sit-downs. So this one's got 2, and then
So I think, yeah, I guess because we had them. We had pulled all this down, but then when we had our first party, we needed some functional bathroom. So we just framed it with those blue screws that you can screw into the tap cons or whatever you can screw into concrete. We just ran our 2x4s across, framed it up, and put some of this chip particle board, whatever this is here.
That's still what's in
And
there.
they're
now.
still there. Like we never have done anything different with them.
another bathroom right here, which this is gone.
This one's not lit.
There's an AC unit, and there's some more shit.
Not lit. When we came into the building, nothing had any electricity to it. You would turn on at the very front of the building, you'd turn on a light switch, and it didn't really do shit. And then we found when we started tearing the building apart, when you saw the beginning of this video, we had pulled a bunch of stuff out of there. Right next to that bathroom in the back that's still there, there was another room there, and there was no way to get in or out of it, no access to it. And the light switch at the front door, come to find out, turns that light bulb on and off in that room. There's not a trap door. They had literally just somebody walled that off, and there was no access to it. It was just like a, 8x8 area.
Back here.
It was very
You can see it?
Yeah, that's got it.
And it comes around, so that's kind of a big square. We just walked in. We'll walk outside and show you outside of the property.
And there was a lot of conversation as to where, so that bay right there was probably, I'll bet it's 80% of the building, 70, 80%. And in the front, the little area was 20 or 30%. And there was a lot of conversation as to where that wall was going to go, how big that room was going to be. And I remember standing talking to the contractor at one point about putting the loft upstairs, and we didn't know where that was going to go, really, how much of it was going to be there. And we were standing in the VIP lounge, and I said, "You see that crack right there in the slab?" I go, "I want it there." So that's really how that came to be, and that ends up being that the downstairs inside, out of 10,000 feet, 6,000 of it is the front area, and 4,000 is the garage. And then when we put that deck in there, there was a lot of conversation of raise it up, raise it down. Well, it can't come down this high because of the lighting, and it has to be. I go, then you can't walk here. You have to duck under, right? The intention was never to have like a living room up there or anything. It was literally just storage, and then it became
something else.
Yeah.
I had found an airplane wing desk, and I was talking to this place, and I'm like, "Can you make a conference table? What size is it?" So that's why those 2 offices upstairs came to be. Those are 10 by 30, and they were originally because I wanted to put an airplane wing table. And I'm like, but then when we started going up there, we're like, this is really a pain in the ass to have to fucking walk upstairs all the time. And for a long time, we didn't have the spiral staircase in. We had paid these guys to do it, and they just didn't fucking do it. It took them like a year to get that over. They were a year late delivering it.
Which means you had to walk all the way.
So you had to
through
walk
the
all the
shop
way to the back of the shop,
to go
upstairs,
up the stairs.
and the back stairs. While they were here, they weren't installed. So we were like climbing up a ladder the whole time to get there. They had a set of wooden staircase eventually.
I think there's a video somewhere, because I vaguely remember it, where there was like missing steps, so you had to like either hop or like have a ladder.
Yeah, even when we brought all the employees here the first time, you had to like climb up a ladder. Like we just had a fucking aluminum ladder to get up there.
When it's raining, we can just pull the vehicles straight in.
Yeah, a lot of places where the big trucks can come into like that. Wouldn't have to go so far to unload and load.
We can bring big trucks up and all the way around the building.
Look at all those old AC sets.
Yeah.
All that shit came out of there. None of those worked. There was
And
there was no copper in any of that shit.
The curb,
Yeah, that curb.
the parking blocks are all gone.
You have to have that curb because dumb drunk people fucking will run through your building. It won't stop them, but it might, they'll
Wake
be
'em
aware
up.
that it's happening.
Yeah.
Those big trees back
See
there.
all
Oh,
that.
man.
Yeah, that hill there,
Yeah.
all those trees. The whole we'll walk around back here and you'll see it.
Building sat vacant for years.
Like this had been bush hogged it by now. And then when we first came on the property, you could not walk through where we're walking right now. This has been mowed down.
This building sat vacant for years. Yeah, there's been a couple of businesses that have tried to make a go, and they just lasted using little pieces of the building, and they've just gone under. And
Man, I look
shitheads,
super-
local
I look
shitheads
fat
around here
right
come in
now.
and cut all the copper out, so all three of these
Just,
AC
yeah,
units are
bad
down.
posture.
There's another one on the backside that's down. There's a brand new functioning AC unit on the front. It's got all kinds of power.
Which we didn't keep. I don't even know what happened to that thing.
What's surprising is that I don't know how many are on there, but there's a lot of them, a lot of
Mm-hmm.
AC units.
Yeah.
And you guys don't have that much now, and it's really cool.
Well,
No, we do.
they're
You just
hidden.
don't see them.
Yeah, they're
okay.
hidden.
That
You
was
just
one
don't
of the
see
most expensive things. It was $65,000.
them. No, it wasn't. It was more than that.
It was $65,000 for the heat and air that they put in here. And I remember thinking, wow, that was really expensive. And the price, it went up even by the time we had that
Power
done.
coming in. We've got multiple power poles with all kinds of transformers on the property.
Yeah, you got 2 boxes that come into this
We're gonna
building.
roll up.
So this door, right next to this door, this electric box right here you're seeing, there's a big arc in between it and a big gouge on 2 things inside there. And when the electrical guys came in here, when the electrician came in, and there was no electricity in the building. People had stolen all the copper, all the piping inside had been vandalized and broken. Tons of porcelain had been broken. Toilets and shit were shattered. Like they just were in here and vandalized this place. The first time we walked in there, it was full of debris and trash, and it looked like somebody had broken dozens of bags of Quikrete. Even in the VIP lounge, there were bags of concrete that had broken, or like silica sand or something had been hauled up there and broken. There was dust everywhere.
It was gross.
The first week we were in there, we were literally shoveling with a flat blade shovel and then slowly putting it into the 75-gallon trash cans, trying not to make dust because the dust was full of piss. There was needles in there. There were some old mattresses in there. There was a lot of old toilet paper where people had wiped their asses. There was human shit in there. So we literally spent about a week. It took us a week just to get the debris out of there.
This is actually kind of like the perfect place for all of that to happen because you're outside of town and nobody can see what's going on in here
Yep,
from the
because the
street.
gate was locked, but it was a pole. You could get under it.
Yeah.
You could get in the back way if you were willing to like scratch your truck up or just get through there, and you couldn't see it from the road.
Yeah.
So nobody's gonna get up there.
And the property goes about to these tree line, goes a little beyond there, but all the way.
There's those double doors. You can see how tall the grass is. We had hogged that. All of that came almost to the building at one point.
Down to those big trees down there.
So
we can
right
hog all
here,
this down.
where that dips in, that's a lean-to you'll see in a second. We've actually got 3 fuel cells right there, elevated tanks now. That pipe coming down is a drain. We don't actually use that drain. We redid all the drains.
Claim all this terrain, so we can still we can still grow a lot of our own food here, have some animals and small livestock. But we got a lot of room.
My thought was when we started talking to the contractors, I wanted to take this lean-to basically and run it all the way back where that divot is, and then run it out all the way through. So we would have roll-up doors basically on the side where my head is sitting right here, but where the grass is, so further up. And I wanted to be able to bring semi-trucks in and unload them and then out the other side. And then once we started dealing with real truck drivers, we realized that that's not at all necessary.
Terrible idea.
And we didn't do it. We're also standing right now where one of the septic tanks is, and then there's a couple of others here. So there was question as to how we do that. We would pour a slab, and then we would just put inspection ports under there so we could access and do clean out and stuff. So that is doable, but we did not end up doing it.
Where we could move, we could expand this. What is that? Well,
Like say AC unit or something.
There was a ton of shit once we got out here.
So much
There were
trash.
dozer piles. There was all kinds of debris, like people were just dumping trash out here. And then where these trees are further out here, there was a ton of black plastic.
Yeah.
And I don't know why they had it, but there was black plastic. Like we were taking black plastic, getting a hold of it, and tying it to the hitch on the four-wheeler and driving out with it. And we were pulling just these huge sections. It's almost like somebody had put black plastic down over an acre or so, like they were trying to catch acorns or something. I'm sure that's not what it was for, but I don't know why they had it out there. But there
Took
was black
forever to
plastic
get it out
spread
there.
fucking everywhere out of there. I still have it. I was mowing yesterday and still got black plastic on the lawnmower.
Yeah, wood, whatever it is.
Yeah, you're gonna get, if here in Tennessee, if you walk out there and any foliage touches you, you're gonna get bugs on you. They're gonna lay you, sting you, bite you, try to kill you, lay eggs in you. You cannot, like you're going to have bugs all over you if raw skin touches any of that stuff. And then that building there,
That was that blind. Right
yeah,
here.
yeah, I'm talking about just the 3, 4 colors of building here. We took that section there that you see to the right that's tan and blue. That's where all those bathrooms were. And that's basically a lean-to they added on, as is this big empty thing here. Then we've got that filled up. I was actually in there this morning thinking, man, I really need to address this and get this organized and cleaned up. There's a ton of stuff. And that's the south side, so it catches sun. I noticed that my power washer has been set out there and it's getting sun every day. And I've always thought, man, I should at least hang some shade cloth or something here to keep the light from just destroying everything in there. But that building right there, that blue and that tan, we had took a bunch of that off and put new steel there, and that metal got put in a pile, and we went to use it somewhere else, and it came up missing, and they're like, it's missing. And there was this real question of where this went, and because we had game cameras and stuff on the property, and one of the, Mac, who worked there, he was the foreman, and he passed away years ago. He was 79, 75 then. That's the old man that built all the tables in my shop. Once we moved in the building, if I needed something done on the property, I would call him. And he's like, I know where your metal went. And he's like, you got time to go for a ride? I'm like, yeah, always. So he took me right to this dude's place. And it was a dude that worked for this company who had stolen that shit. We also, at one point prior to this, had the water company show up, and they're like, hey, you got a water leak. You've run 120,000 gallons of water in the last 30 days or whatever. And I said, well, what does that look like? And they said, well, it looks like an Olympic swimming pool. I'm like, well, let's go find it. So
They said it's basically your hose is on full blast for the whole month.
Yeah.
So we went and looked, and I said, can we all agree that there's not a water leak here? And they said, yeah. I go, so what's the option? And they go, well, somebody stole it. And I said, how can that be? What does that mean? Well, the water company printed out a stack of paper and brought it over. And they know every time that your toilet flushes. They know every time you have a leaky faucet. And they're like, see this one here that ran for 15 seconds? That's a flapper valve in the toilet right there. It's just you have a leaky toilet. And then what we were finding is that on Thursdays and Fridays, on Friday they would leave early at 2 o'clock. And at about 2:30, the water would run until like
8 o'clock.
8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock that night. Somebody was bringing a tanker truck in and filling it up.
That's crazy.
And I said, okay, well, who has the lock to the key? Who has the keys? Mm-hmm. Well, we had a key, and I gave one key to the dude that owned the company. Mm-hmm. Well, that's kind of a fucking problem.
Yeah.
That means that implicates him in it, right? Nothing was ever done. They took it off the bill, but this went on for, there were 4 weekends where they were just fucking filling up these trucks.
That's crazy.
Yeah, and I don't know where that came from. I would guess this is probably some kind of scam that they do every time there's a new property, and then just knowing that the owner of the property will just have this removed from the bill. But I would guess they filled up a tanker truck and went out and filled up somebody's swimming pool for them or whatever happened. But there was always some kind of shady shit. Colin's like, man, they're really dragging their feet. My dad does construction and stuff, and he said they're just fucking you guys. And Mac even said that too. He's like, they're fucking you. They're in here just hanging out because it's fucking cold outside. They're getting paid to be on this job, and they're not getting the work done. Like when they were putting the ceiling in upstairs, Mac's like, hey, this is bullshit. This is what they've done all week. And then Mac came in, and he's like, you see all this? I go, how long did this take you? He said, I did all the rest of it in one day. So there was always some shady shit going on. The dude that owned the company, he'd come through and he was awesome, knew what was up, knew the high-end materials, whatever you're talking about. The problem was he wasn't there overseeing. He's out selling jobs and shit.
I was gonna say chain link fence it and everything, put dry storage stuff there, or extend this out. You put even the cars and stuff there.
Yeah, we could extend it out and have a full drive-through and close all of this and use this, so we can still cut and weld and fabricate and do all the off-road bullshit we want to do.
And who are these Mongoloids?
That's Cody and I'm not sure who that is.
One's going to be Mongo.
Maybe that's
Razor races.
Oh, it's not Cody.
Put a track right
Put
here.
a full freestyle jump.
You can put some dirt here, yeah. Put a pump track in here for the bikes.
So this is it looks good. It looks promising. We've got a bunch of draw fans, another AC unit that's down here. But we already had Fuller, our AC dude, out here. He said won't take nothing. On the building and the properties, you know, they were asking about 200, and that's negotiable. And then we're probably looking at another, you know, $70,000 to $80,000 just roughly to finish it out the way we want it and have all the AC brought
But
up.
that's total.
Did I just say 70 to 80,000? So she wanted.
the funniest thing I've heard all day.
I don't know where these numbers came from. She wanted 190. I offered her 120. She came back that night and said they'd take 140. I didn't have $1,200, much less $120,000. And we had a line of credit for $500,000 from the bank, and we used every fucking penny of that building this out.
So we spent over $600,000 on the renovation of this building.
Now, a lot of that went to labor and stuff, but material-wise, and we still have materials that have never even been installed too.
70 or 80 grand.
They're revamping the building, yeah.
It's totally revamping the building. We're another 80,000 on top of that, Fuller figured, and we don't have to do that all at once. We can do a lot of that, you know.
To do what you need.
So.
Yeah.
Look at the foam. Look at the foam insulation in the door there. I think that's what that is.
Yeah.
Like styrofoam. Oh, because that's the walk-in
That's the
cooler.
cooler, yeah.
That's the styrofoam in the door. And you'll see this ice machine here in a second.
Prefab mobile homes in here.
Visitors and stuff.
Yeah,
I don't remember
Literally.
an ice machine.
Yeah, it was full of mice and shit. That's where there's
Because literally, like when people came to visit.
that's where the faucet is. There is still
Yeah.
a faucet right there. That
Yep.
faucet's still there. This drain is still here. These boxes are here, but we have a lot more pipes and wires and shit now.
We have more stuff there.
For a while.
we can put all the trucks, we can put all the trailers, all the equipment that we own. We can bring all the tractors and everything.
That's what I was saying, like right here.
Did I have tractors then?
No,
Why did I say we could bring
I-
all the tractors?
I don't know.
Where these are. If you did a big metal building, you could put everything under
Yeah, we
there.
can put a couple steel, but these are duck blinds.
Yeah.
For you guys that don't hunt, these things have actual
So
toilets.
that's Hicks's truck.
Nope, that's Colin's truck.
Nope, Colin's car is over here.
Nope,
It's blue.
this is okay.
I think he says it too. He says that that's his donk.
Yes. It was like a baby blue color. It was pretty funny.
Send them, and
Yeah, that one's not finished. That one's totally
that's a
finished
dog
in there.
box right there, and the dog runs up the ramp when they're in the water. It's pretty cool. So we just thought we'd show you. We just thought we'd kind of show you what we're doing. We were 30 minutes late.
The property looks a lot different. Where we're standing right now
Holy shit.
is all the garden right now.
Yeah.
And then the building we're sitting in right now is kind of where that other blind is.
We just ran a 40-foot Denazi speedboat, and
Donzi.
they were having problems getting the motor synced in together. But I got the video we'll put up before this. You'll see that we just shot all that footage.
Oh, that's when we went out on the boat under the bridge there on Mike's boat.
Too.
Cool, man.
I've never been I've been on some military boats and stuff that were pretty fast, but Not one of those.
Did you get to ride it?
Yeah, we were out.
Oh, sweet! I didn't know that
bridge
shit.
and shit. I was gonna take you, and I wasn't sure how many seats we had, and you had a bunch of dudes coming back, so we were already late getting there and trying to be here on time. So,
All right.
nothing like running Porsches on the fucking dirt.
Yep.
Speaking of cool cars, look at that donk.
He got that from his grandmother had passed away, and he had that. He drove that around for quite a while.
Yeah.
And then he bought a Dodge truck that looked. I thought that was the one to the side there.
I thought his truck was black.
Maybe it was. I don't know. I thought it was. I don't know.
Whew. Man, it looks good.
That's
the
it.
end of the video. So the building from the outside looks the same. We had talked about skinning it. We talked about painting it. If you're ever going to paint, because we were talking about painting the garage, right? And we had a quote, and they wanted like $15,000 or something. They had to pressure wash it, and then they had to sandblast it, and then they had to paint it. Like at the time, we could have done metal for right about the same price. And when you buy metal, there's different types of metal. And I kind of feel like you get the 30-year warranty metal and the 50-year warranty metal. I feel like it's the same fucking metal. They just charge you more for the extra couple of years of warranty. And you can buy that. Like if I was going to build a building right now, I would do white steel, which is what the new building kit is. It has white metal on it. And then I would do black trim and a black roof. And I know we would probably regret it because it's hot and blah, 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 but they just look so good.
We have a white roof now, and it's still fucking hot. So.
Yep.
I didn't even think about the heat, but I was just thinking, if you got like a flat black and just sprayed the building, you wouldn't have to do much prep to it because it's gonna just look black. You know?
Right, but what are we spraying it with?
Yeah, it's a lot of paint.
Like I was fucking around when I did the door. I'm like, we'll just start doing this a section at a time. We were out. She's like, do you want to get the black paint? I'm like, for what? She goes, we're going to just spray the building. I'm like, I'm not fucking spraying.
I love to paint. I love to fucking paint.
It would be fine for about a year. And then when it starts chipping off, it would be a fucking disaster.
Yeah, that's true.
It would be a mess.
You'd have to primer it.
Plus, she didn't paint that. Like, I went through 14 cans of paint, 20 cans of paint to paint the garage door.
Because he used spray paint.
Well, what are you going to paint with?
I would go buy a bucket of paint.
Bullshit. Good. You can paint that fucking fence I want black. All right.
Try not to